What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97, and welcome to another episode of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. I know, it's been a while, it's been a little over a week since I last uploaded the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, but we're back, and we're on the road to WrestleMania, baby, so without any further delay, let's take a look at the match card, as we've got a number 1 contenders match for the tag team titles, as it is Booker T and Goldust fighting for a potential rematch against the Wyatt family as they take on the International Airstrike. Cesaro, coming off of his loss to Alberto Del Rio at the Elimination Chamber, goes one-on-one with R-Truth, who has The Miz in his corner. And in the main event, the Royal Rumble winner, CM Punk, will be going one-on-one with the show-off, Dolph Ziggler. And as we can see, The Rock defeated Kane in an earlier matchup that took place. Curtis Axel, with Alberto Del Rio in his corner, defeated Zack Ryder. So, of course, Del Rio is still scouting out competition to see who could potentially face him for the U.S. title at WrestleMania. And The Shield defeated The New Day in a tag team matchup earlier on. But now it's time that we move into the tag team matchup for this evening. But, as you do know, CM Punk is the Royal Rumble winner. And he, shortly following the Elimination Chamber, CM Punk made his decision, and WWE.com announced earlier today that CM Punk will be going one-on-one with The Rock for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 30. That is huge! So right there, that is the main event, CM Punk versus The Rock for the WWE Championship. And I'm sure there are going to be more matches set to come. Of course, we already know that, it wasn't made official until earlier today. Also announced on WWE.com that Daniel Bryan will get his rematch with Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, at WrestleMania. So, of course, we do know that they faced off at the Royal Rumble. And shortly afterwards, Paul Heyman announced that Brock Lesnar wasn't going to be competing until WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar, he wasn't going to show up at a pay-per-view like the Elimination Chamber. And so, the match, was officially made official here today. So, we've got 2 matches set up for WrestleMania so far. And from what we also saw, The Undertaker and Sting had a bit of a confrontation on the Elimination Chamber pre-show. If you missed it, be sure to go check it out. That was certainly one hell of a confrontation. But we also know that The Undertaker and Sting will be facing off at WrestleMania 30. That was also made official earlier today. So, right away, we've got 3 matches set in place for WrestleMania. And of course, we take a look at some of the other matches that could potentially be on the card. We have the Divas Championship, which was won by Brie Bella last night at the Elimination Chamber. So, Brie Bella, Summer Rae's still got a rematch clause, so at some point there's going to be a Divas Championship match up there. If that will be the match at WrestleMania, it's still unclear whether that's going to be the case or not. But Summer Rae does have a rematch clause, so I think it's safe to assume we'll be seeing a Divas Championship match between Brie Bella and Summer Rae sometime in the near future. But at the moment, in the ring, we've got Tyson Kidd one-on-one with Booker T, Goldust, and Justin Gabriel. They're, of course, over on the ropes, over on the apron. As this is a number 1 contenders match for the tag team titles to determine who's going to be facing the Wyatt family. Of course, the Wyatt family, as of late, they've had a bit of a run-in with the Shield, it should seem. If we take you back to the week prior to the Elimination Chamber on Monday Night Raw, where The Rock defeated Roman Reigns to qualify for the Elimination Chamber, and during that matchup, the Wyatt family made some sort of an interference. The lights had gone out, and we didn't exactly see what happened, but, it seemed like they attacked both men, but it was obvious that Roman Reigns was the worse for wear, that the Shield had made Roman Reigns the target of that attack. But as we saw earlier on tonight, when the Shield defeated the New Day, they're still trying to get back into things, and we'll have to wait to hear a response from the Shield, what their response is going to be. But I gotta imagine they're pretty furious with what transpired last week on Raw. But we're gonna have to wait and find out what more developments are gonna go down there. and what the Shield's response is going to be to the Wyatt family's attack. But for now, we got to focus in on, I mean, the Wyatt family, of course, they've got to focus on the winner of this matchup because, you know, these are two pretty talented teams here. I mean, we've already seen before that Booker T and Goldust have what it takes to get the win over the Wyatt family. I mean, of course, they defeated the Wyatt family about a month ago on Monday Night Raw to become #1 contenders for the tag team titles. Then we take a look at the International Airstrike, who have defeated the New Day in the past. They've also defeated both members of the Usos in singles competition. I mean, really, they've been getting a fair number of victories as of late. So, I mean, the International Airstrike potentially could fly under the radar as the dark horse to win this matchup. I mean, imagine that if the International Airstrike could be the next tag team champions. And that certainly would be a quick rise to fame since they united, since they teamed up following the TLC pay-per-view. But oh, what a counter there by Goldust, counters the DDT and now delivers a huge clothesline there, dropping Tyson Kidd. But oh, Tyson Kidd was trying to, looked like Goldust might have been trying to go for a tag there, but Tyson Kidd doing a good job right now of isolating Goldust. As so far, the International Airstrike appear to have the advantage. Goldust has taken quite a beating in this matchup, and Booker T, you know, he can't do anything else but watch over there in the apron. But of course, later on tonight, we're going to have Cesaro taking on R-Truth, and we know that Cesaro lost to Del Rio at the Elimination Chamber for the U.S. title. So we've yet to determine who's going to be the next #1 contender for the United States Championship. Although I gotta say, if it's not going to be Cesaro, I mean, who else is deserving of a potential title shot? I mean, we take a look, Curtis Axel, he's been getting a lot of victories in the past number of months. I don't know, but I mean, there's always people on Monday Night Raw who could step up and kind of fill in that role. But really, I think the two most dominant superstars as of late in that division have been Cesaro and Curtis Axel, and we saw that Cesaro was defeated by Del Rio, so now it's going to be kind of curious to see how that situation is going to change heading into WrestleMania. And then, of course, we've got Dolph Ziggler, who he's continuing his climbing up the ranks, trying to ascend to the main event picture. But wait a minute, let's focus in right here. Look at this. Booker T's got Tyson. Oh, what a move there. What a move by Booker T and Goldust. Cover. Could that be it? 1, 2, 3. No, Tyson Kidd kicks out at the last second. But man, what a double team move that was by Booker and Goldust. As Booker T lifted Tyson Kidd up for that suplex, and Goldust, almost a bit of a not really a crossbody, but just enough to just kind of add extra impact, extra force into the mat there. It's amazing Tyson Kidd managed to kick out of that. But right now, Booker T and Goldust continue to dissect Tyson Kidd right now. As Tyson Kidd really needs to make a tag to Justin Gabriel here. Cover by Booker T off that kick to the face, but there's Justin Gabriel to break it up. And that's what happens in these sort of tag team matches. You got to make sure that you take that partner out of the equation. Otherwise, I mean, they're just going to come right in and break up the pinfall. But as we can see right now, Tyson Kidd's in a whole lot of trouble. Booker T with an Irish whip, and he counters, sending Tyson Kidd over there into the corner. And of course, Booker, he's going to want to stay out of that corner, otherwise Tyson Kidd can get a pinfall, or a tag, I should say. But there's a springboard sunset flip, and Booker T has knocked off Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel here tonight. So it looks like the Wyatt family, I mean, Booker T and Goldust are going to get one more shot at the Wyatt family. So the Wyatt family, they're going to have to keep on their toes, because I got to think now, Booker T and Goldust are going to be more anxious to win that match than ever. I mean, now that they've already lost once, if they lose again, well, then they're definitely not going to get another shot at the tag team titles. So it's now or never for Booker T and Goldust. But it's amazing to see how ever since Booker T has returned, these two have just managed to gel together so well and attain success in this tag team division. And as we can see right there, off that kick to the face, there was Gabriel to break it up. But unfortunately for Tyson Kidd here, Gabriel just couldn't get in there to break it up. And Booker T, he caught Tyson Kidd napping. He was able to put him away with that springboard sunset flip. But that is it. The Wyatt family, they're going to be taking on Goldust and Booker T in the near future for the tag team titles. But it is going to be interesting to see how the Shield could factor into this equation. as, you know, the Wyatt family also has a bone to pick with the Shield. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not this tag team title match is going to be at WrestleMania, or are we going to perhaps see the Shield versus the Wyatt family at WrestleMania? And only time will tell what exactly is going to happen there. But for now, it's time we moved into the next matchup on the match card, as it is Cesaro, the King of Swing, going one-on-one with R-Truth. And of course, Awesome Truth, they're coming off a tag team victory on the Elimination Chamber pre-show, where they defeated the New Day. And you gotta think, heading into that tag team matchup, both teams had been losing a lot of matches. I mean, of course, the history for R-Truth and The Miz, especially The Miz, has been well documented. I mean, R-Truth, he was injured by Zack Ryder back following Over the Limit back in June, and then he was out with a broken collarbone all the way up until, I believe it was November, prior to the Survivor Series pay-per-view, when R-Truth came back and attacked The Rock. And then, of course, R-Truth lost to The Rock at TLC. Ever since then, Truth has kind of fallen into this, you know, he's gotten lost in the shuffle just as much as The Miz has, where they both just haven't really had much to do here on Monday Night Raw. But then they found each other, they decided to team up, put their forces together, and, you know, see if their combined efforts could gain them success. And, well, so far it's been working out in their favor. As for the New Day, it's going to be, you know, how are they going to respond to that loss? As they've just been on a massive losing streak, really, ever since forming together as a tag team. And for Big E and Kofi, they've just been on a losing streak throughout most of their career. I mean, we do know that Kofi Kingston at one point challenged for the U.S. title, although he wasn't able to win the title. That was, of course, back in No Way Out in a Fatal 4-Way. And as for Big E, he was a former #1 contender as well. Take you back to Capital Punishment, where he lost to Jack Swagger. And then again at Survivor Series, where he was in the Battle Royal to crown a new United States champion. And then once again at the Royal Rumble, more recently in the Triple Threat, where he lost to Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio. Well, just Del Rio, I guess. Even though he wasn't the man pinned or submitted in the matchup, that was Jack Swagger, of course. But still, he didn't walk out with the gold. And I'm sure that's the most important thing. But now it's going to be, we're going to have to see how R-Truth, how that tag team matchup just in general is going to affect the careers of these four men. But right now, R-Truth, it appears as he's taking quite the amount of punishment here from Cesaro. But R-Truth with a nice Hurricanrana, able to take Cesaro down to the mat. But of course, R-Truth, he can't really go for a power style of offense here in this one, because obviously Cesaro, his strength is well documented. R-Truth, he's not going to win a power struggle with Cesaro. So R-Truth, he's going to have to keep his moves quick and powerful. Let's look at this Northern Lights suplex. Going for the... No, whoa. Whoa. Whoa, my! Look at this! Look at Cesaro! I thought he was going to go for a pin off that Northern Lights suplex. Instead, picked R-Truth up into a deadlift brainbuster there. And somehow R-Truth still managed to kick out. But that was impressive. That was impressive by Cesaro. I mean, what a feat of strength that was. R-Truth now, he's going to have to try to bounce back from that one. Delivers the face buster. And now R-Truth running off the ropes, and this is what he's got to do. He's got to be quick. He can't allow Cesaro to get his hands on him, because then Cesaro is just going to outpower R-Truth. And look at this. Cesaro sweeps out the legs of R-Truth there. And oh, wait a minute. Could we see it? Cesaro, he's got the giant swing here, and this is not good. The Cesaro swing, and this is not good for R-Truth. He's just getting swung around the ring like a rag doll. That'll probably be it. R-Truth, I think he's got to be so dizzy he can't even. I don't even think he knows where he is. And Cesaro gets the win here tonight. I mean, I think that Northern Lights suplex into the brainbuster, not only was it impressive. Let's get a replay of this. As you can see, that was a Northern Lights suplex earlier on, but then the second one, he turned it into a brainbuster. I mean, just the amount of strength, the amount of upper body strength that would take to pick somebody up from that position. I mean, wow, Cesaro was just impressive. I mean, I think Cesaro, even after losing to Del Rio at the Elimination Chamber, I still think Cesaro's in the hunt. I think he's still near the top of the U.S. title division. And it's been a long time coming for Cesaro. We thought it was going to be his night at Elimination Chamber, Unfortunately, it wasn't. But tonight, Cesaro showed that that loss hasn't really affected him all that much, and that he's still red hot. And that Cesaro, he still could very well be the next #1 contender for the... he may not have even lost that #1 contender's title. I mean, I think he's still... I think, if you want to face Del Rio for the U.S. title, I think you got to go through Cesaro. But I think maybe, just maybe, if Cesaro gets one more crack at Del Rio, that might be all he needs. Elimination Chamber just might not have been his night. Could have been an off night for Cesaro, because he still looks mighty impressive. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how that plays out. But now coming down to the ring is the #1 contender for the WWE Championship, CM Punk, and he's gonna be going one-on-one with this man, Dolph Ziggler. And how about Dolph Ziggler? If you want to talk about how Cesaro has been red hot, well, Dolph Ziggler's been red hot as well. I mean, just victory after victory for this man. I mean, we take you all the way back to December when Dolph Ziggler defeated The Undertaker in one-on-one competition. We then take you a few weeks later on the WWE Superstar Special, the finale of WWE 2K15 Universe Mode, where, well, not the finale, the final episode, but where Dolph Ziggler defeated Christian, who of course now is the World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, Dolph Ziggler, that was another impressive victory. And even so, I mean, he got himself into the Elimination Chamber. It took a spine buster from The Rock into an attitude adjustment from John Cena to take Dolph Ziggler out of that Elimination Chamber matchup. I mean, that just shows how much of a threat Dolph Ziggler has made himself in recent months here in Universe Mode. And it's going to be, does CM Punk... I mean, he can't afford to take Dolph Ziggler lightly here. Does Dolph Ziggler have what it takes to beat CM Punk here tonight? I mean, of course, CM Punk, the last match he competed in was a loss to the Big Red Machine, Kane. So Punk, he really needs a victory here tonight to bounce back. I mean, altogether, as the winner of the Royal Rumble, Punk hasn't looked all that impressive, to be perfectly honest. I mean, losing to Kane, I mean, we did see Kane was one of the final two men in the Elimination Chamber. But still, I mean, losing to Kane it's not good. I mean, Punk, you don't want to lose any matches if you're the winner of the Royal Rumble, because you need all the momentum you can get heading into the main event of WrestleMania. Punk wants to look impressive, as impressive as possible. But Dolph Ziggler at the same time, right now he does not have a match at WrestleMania, but he could very well try to work himself into a potential WrestleMania match. What that would be, I don't quite know. I mean, obviously, the World Championship is going to be out of his grasp, as CM Punk is the defined #1 contender. But I don't know. I don't know if Dolph Ziggler maybe wants to try to step down to the U.S. title division, although I don't think that's highly likely. I think Dolph Ziggler has moved on past the U.S. title division. I think he's clearly set his sights on the WWE Championship, and I don't think anything's going to get in his way. As he went for a clothesline there, but Punk managed to step out of the way. As they're here on the outside, just kind of brawling right now. But the referee got to a 5 count, so both men rushing back into the ring. They do not want to be counted out in this matchup. That would not be impressive. I think these two men, two very talented competitors, I think they're going to try to either win this matchup by pinfall or submission. I don't think they're going to be willing to take a disqualification or a count-out loss here. And that's just... I think that's a bit of mutual respect between the two, and that's also just their tenacity, their, just the feeling of competition, the competitiveness of these two superstars, both against each other and in their own right. So right now, Dolph Ziggler looks like he's got the upper hand off that vertical suplex. Not sure exactly what he's going to try to do here, but he's got Punk in the center of the ring. Dolph Ziggler, he's just measuring Punk right now, and doing a bit of showboating, and that's why they call him the Show-Off, as Dolph Ziggler just really working on the head and neck there of CM Punk. And he went for a punch, but Punk blocked it. And of course, Punk is also a master of strikes. I mean, he's also a master technician. I mean, CM Punk is just an all-around one of the best competitors. Oh, what a kick to the side of the head. And I think that busted open Dolph Ziggler. I think we can see a little bit of blood on the mat right now. As, yep, there's that cut on the forehead of Dolph Ziggler. Punk counters a move there from Ziggler. But Ziggler still continues to fight, misses a drop kick. Punk going for a DDT, but Ziggler counters into an arm breaker. And right now, Dolph Ziggler, he's got to do whatever it takes to put away CM Punk. But, I mean, right now, Dolph Ziggler clearly showing the wounds of this matchup as CM Punk has busted Ziggler open. And right now, Punk's got Ziggler in the corner here. But Ziggler with a counter. What's Ziggler going to do here? As he spins Punk around in the corner. Could be thinking something big here. He's got Punk, and he's going to throw him into that steel ring post. Shoulder first. That'll definitely take its toll on CM Punk. But right now, this is just back and forth between these two competitors. CM Punk, he's got to be on his A game here tonight against Dolph Ziggler. As Ziggler, like I said, he's been on a roll as of late. There's a cover on Punk. 1, 2, 3. No, Punk kicks out at literally the last second. I mean, that was like, he was about, oh, and another DDT there from Dolph Ziggler. Not the DDT he's known for, but a bit of a silver spoon DDT, and now an elbow drop into a kip up. And look at Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's just having fun right now. Just showing off as he's known for. And right now, Ziggler, once again, going to go for that standing vertical suplex. And look at that, just even holding CM Punk up there for a little bit. Just, just showing off his talents, his abilities as a wrestler in that ring. But right now, both men are gassed. They're trying to get back to their feet. As that just shows, the fatigue this match is. Oh, and a DDT right there by Ziggler. Planting Punk face first into the mat. And Ziggler picking Punk up now. What's he thinking here? Look at this DDT by Dolph Ziggler. And that is vintage Dolph Ziggler right there. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. No! CM Punk kicks out once again. I thought for sure that might have had him, but no. CM Punk stays alive. And now it's Punk's turn to fire back with a snapmare and then a kick to the back of Dolph Ziggler. But I mean, just look at this. Back and forth between these two competitors. Neither superstar can afford to give an inch right here. As CM Punk delivers a knee right to the gut of Dolph Ziggler. And Punk looking to scale to the top rope. Ziggler getting back to his feet here. What could happen? Drop kick to the back of Dolph Ziggler. I don't think Punk quite got all of it, but it was enough that it dropped Ziggler. Although it appears as though it took a bit out of Punk as well. And now another roundhouse kick to the head of Dolph Ziggler. And Ziggler, I don't know how he's still hanging in this thing. I mean, all these vicious kicks from CM Punk. It's amazing that Dolph Ziggler is still conscious. But he counters with an elbow to the forehead. And now a drop kick by Ziggler. Another beautiful, picture-perfect drop kick by Dolph Ziggler. And wait a minute. I think Ziggler, he could be thinking zigzag here. As he's got Punk, but Punk with a counter. Punk delivers a kick to the gut of Ziggler. And now it's Punk who appears to have the advantage. He's got the upper hand at the moment as he tosses Ziggler over there into that corner. He's placed him up on the top rope. Oh, what a strike there from Punk. What the hell is CM Punk looking to do here? Oh my God. CM Punk is not going to do this. Off the top rope to the floor. CM Punk with a superplex out to the floor. That's it. This match is over. I'm amazed that Punk can get back to his feet. Good night, Dolph Ziggler. That is going to do it. CM Punk, if he can just get Ziggler into the ring and cover him, this match is over. But Ziggler, somehow, some way, Dolph Ziggler manages to get back to his feet. I don't know how these two men can even stand right now. But back and forth they go. This fight drags on. CM Punk, he's in trouble right now. As Ziggler, how is he doing this? Dolph Ziggler somehow managing not only to stay alive in this matchup, but to continue mounting an attack on CM Punk. As Punk again kicks at it a near fall. But what is it going to take to put either of these men away? Dolph Ziggler, a second DDT, and that could very well do it. Goes for the cover on Punk. 1, 2, 3, and Dolph Ziggler has knocked off the winner of the Royal Rumble. And for CM Punk, this is yet another loss. As Dolph Ziggler, you got to give credit to these two men. That was one hellacious match, very back and forth, very competitive, and that obviously, pun intended, that match stole the show. I mean, you cannot argue with that. That matchup stole the show. These two men gave it their all. They left everything on the line tonight. And in the end, it was just Dolph Ziggler had a little bit left in the tank. And Dolph Ziggler gets another huge victory. Forget being red hot. Dolph Ziggler is white hot. He's hotter than the sun right now. Dolph Ziggler is just on fire. in recent weeks. Oh, wow. That match even took a lot out of me. Very back and forth between these two men, and a huge victory for Dolph Ziggler. But CM Punk. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Before I say anything else, I want to publicly congratulate you on your Royal Rumble victory. It's not easy to do what you did last month, but you overcame the odds and won it all, and I respect that. With that being said, you've earned a one-on-one championship opportunity with The Rock at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. But you're not the only one who's contractually deserving of a title match, because I still have a guaranteed rematch clause. Now I'm going to cut straight to the chase here. I challenge you to a match next week on Raw, where the winner will face The Rock for the WWE title at WrestleMania. Let's set any controversy aside and settle this the way we settle all issues in this industry. In that ring. I accept your challenge, John, out of respect for everything you've done for this company over the last decade, and out of respect for you as a person. It's clear to me that when all is said and done, you are the man. A talented competitor, a decorated champion, and a first ballot Hall of Famer. Unfortunately for you, John, I'm more than just the man. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world. Whether it's in this ring or on this mic, nobody can touch me. I'm a WWE champion, a Royal Rumble winner, and I'm gonna be in the main event of WrestleMania. But even I'm not invincible. I'm no Superman like you pretend to be, John. I know my flaws. And I know that while I've succeeded in situations where anyone else would have failed, I'm not perfect. One of the biggest failures in my entire career is that I've never beaten you. I have never defeated you in a one-on-one match, and that's something that has eaten away at me. I don't have to be perfect, but I have to defeat you. And I don't have to be perfect to do that. Well, Punk, as a wise man once said, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. And if I have anything to say about it, you're going to have to beat every last breath out of this body if you want to truly be the man. Well, you heard it here first. Next week on Raw, John Cena will go one-on-one with CM Punk, and the winner will go on to face The Rock for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 30.